I can recall when I was my heaviest and my most out of shape. I remember I went to Sears or some one of those big box stores at the mall, and I was trying on jeans, and I remember going and getting the pair of jeans the size that I thought I was, and not even being able to button them, and then going and getting another size up and not being able to button those, and then just keep going and keep going, and then looking at myself in the mirror in the changing room and being like just absolutely disgusted with myself.
So welcome to the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Podcast with Lee Hayward and Jeff Samataro. Since 1997, Lee Hayward's Total Fitness Bodybuilding has been online helping guys to build muscle, lose fat, and become the best version of themselves. The goal of this podcast is to provide you with real-world practical fitness and nutrition advice to look your best, improve your health, and feel confident in your own skin so you can live life to the fullest without having your body holding you back from doing the things you want to do. So if you're ready to get started, let's jump into the show.
We are up and running. Welcome to another episode of the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Podcast. Lee Hayward here, joined with Jeff Samataro. Welcome, Jeff. Glad to have you back on the podcast again. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've done one.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Lee. I always love doing this. It's always a ton of fun.
Absolutely. So, how are things going on your end out on the West Coast? Right?
Yeah, things are going really great. Staying up with my weekly workouts. My diet has been getting a little bit sharper. It took a little bit of a downslope when I first moved out here because I got really excited about living in one of the biggest foodie towns or foodie cities in the country. So I got a little carried away on a bunch of things, but I'm starting to tighten things up a lot, and things are starting to get a lot better. And my playing opportunities have taken off, so that's good. I'm starting to get more gigs and building up a nice client base of private students. So all in all, things are going really well. And today's my birthday, by the way.
Yes, I did wish you a happy birthday on Facebook Messenger earlier. But so getting better with age.
yeah, every year. That's the goal, right? To keep going up.
Oh, so a birthday episode of the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Podcast here. A special one. Right? I'll have to sing happy birthday at the end. That'll be the grand finale.
You don't have to do that, Lee. You don't have to. I've heard you sing. It's better if you didn't.
Right. But today, what I really want to dive into, Jeff, is the topic of the inner game side of fitness, nutrition, and getting in shape. More than just motivation, because a lot of times people say, "Oh, I'm not motivated to work out," or "I wish I was motivated," or "Oh, you're so lucky that you're motivated. I wish I had your motivation." And that's like a thorn, in my skin when I hear that, because it's not motivation. It's not, really isn't. And I think anybody who's achieved success in any area, whether it's fitness or music or business or sports or whatever, realizes that, sure, I mean, don't get me wrong, when you're motivated, that's great. That's like putting gas on a fire, but you can't rely on just throwing gas on the fire. You have to have that base there. You got to have the foundation that's deeper than just this short-term motivation. And that's what I really want to unpack, and to help people just to get out of their own way, right? To cut through the crap and realize that there's something a lot deeper underneath here, right? So what I want to focus on is taking a different perspective and kind of reframing how we look at fitness, nutrition, motivation, the habits, the lifestyle, all that, and learn the differences that successful people utilize, the tactics, the strategies, the mindset that successful folks have, that the average, not so successful, the wannabe folks are struggling with. And how can we bridge the gap there so that you can adopt some of those habits and mindsets for yourself to give you that unfair advantage moving forward? That's what we're looking for. So it's really covering some strategies and inner game tactics. And it's not just the surface level stuff. Like a lot of people say, well, I know what to do, right? But I'm just not doing it. Well, that's a roadblock. That's a problem. Okay, you know what to do, but you're not doing it. So we need to figure out that, because I'll throw this at you, Jeff. I could say I know how to play the drums. All I do is I take 2 sticks and I beat on these drums. I mean, hey, how hard can it be? Right? I know how to play the drums. I mean, heck, anybody can play the drums. You got 2 sticks, you got drums. Yeah, I know how to play the drums.
Sure.
Right? So, like, technically, I'm not wrong. I mean, like, from very surface level, you do have 2 sticks and you are beating drums. Am I correct? And right? And that's like saying when people come to me who are out of shape, overweight, like do not look like they've put much time and effort into their health and fitness, and then they tell me they know what to do. Right? It's like me telling you I know how to play the drums. 2 sticks, drums,
right.
Like, they say, well, I just got to eat right. I got to exercise. Yeah, but how do you eat right? How do you exercise? There's a lot. The further we go down that rabbit hole, it's like, okay, there's a lot more to this than just sticks beating on drums.
Sure.
All right, but I want to just use that analogy there because put it in perspective. Like, how long have you been playing the drums?
I've been playing the drums for 25 years.
And are you still practicing and improving and getting mentorship and trying to get better at taking those 2 sticks and beating the drums?
Absolutely. Yeah, because there's levels to this. And there's levels to everything. So I'm always trying to put myself in uncomfortable situations where I give myself room to grow. Because looking back on my life, all of the more meaningful things I've ever done have been because I've put myself in difficult situations and wasn't afraid to take on those burdens. I guess I don't know if that's the right word for it, burdens, because even though it is difficult, you come out of it the other way, or you come out the other side a better individual. I really feel like that's really where the growth is. So to not be afraid of it and not take yourself too seriously too, and realize that you got to stay humble and realize that there's always going to be somebody above you. So you're always striving for more, but that's the fun of it, right? The fun of it is always climbing.
Like you acknowledge, okay, there is a burden up front, right? There's a challenge, a discomfort up front, but you can see beyond that to where is this going to get you, right? Like where's the long-term reward, if you will. And where I think a lot of people get hung up, especially when it comes to fitness, and again, we can relate this to other areas, they just see that short-term pain or that short-term discomfort, and they're not appreciating the long-term benefit, the reward, what this could ultimately lead to. That has a big impact on the decisions you make in the moment. Because if we're always seeking short-term pleasure and avoiding short-term pain, that leads to some not so good decisions, because most bad habits usually feel good in the moment, but they ultimately cause a setback later on. A prime example, like if I eat junk food today, okay, it's going to feel good and taste good in the moment. But if I do that regularly, it's going to lead to weight gain and health issues later on down the road. I drink alcohol today, I'm going to get a buzz and get drunk and woohoo, feel good in the moment. But the hangover is going to come tomorrow. And then if you keep doing that, the liver issues and the health problems and everything else, they're going to come much later on down the road as well. What are you willing to do in the moment versus what do you want later on down the road? And it's really getting that bigger picture perspective of short-term pain for long-term gain, or short-term pleasure for long-term pain. This is how I, quote unquote, motivate myself to take better actions, as I think, like, where do I want to be? Not just now in the moment. How do I want to feel today? How do I want to feel a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years, 10 years? Like, where do I want to be in the future? And that helps to determine the actions I take in the moment. Whereas a lot of people don't even think that far. They just, when someone's drinking and smoking and eating junk food and whatever, they're not thinking, oh, I'm going to have lung cancer. Oh, I'm going to have cirrhosis of the liver. I'm going to be obese and diabetic and, probably die of a heart attack. They're not thinking of that. They're just thinking, this feels really good today, right now, and they almost try to block out, those negative things might happen to other people, but it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah, I really feel like it's a societal thing. Like, it's like all these advertisements and things you see on TV that are like, "Hey, we know you're stressed. We know you're hurting. We know you're sad. Here's a temporary solution to that." And then they present you with pizza, or they present you with alcohol, or they present you with cigarettes or drugs or whatever to get you out of that rut you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we've all experienced this, right? Where we've been in a place of sadness or anxiety or despair, and we're like, okay, what can I do like right now to get me out of this situation? And it's so easy just to like consume something, to just go to like the fridge and just pop a beer,
Yep.
or go light a cigarette or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy. It's easy to do. It takes zero effort, zero strain, and it gives you that temporary stress relief. But I can recall when I was my heaviest and my most out of shape. I remember I went to Sears or some one of those big box stores at the mall, and I was trying on jeans, and I remember going and getting the pair of jeans the size that I thought I was, and not even being able to button them, and then going and getting another size up and not being able to button those, and then just
Ooh.
keep going and keep going, and then
Ouch.
looking at myself in the mirror in the changing room and being like just absolutely disgusted with myself. And then I remember years later, after I had gone through the program and made a change, doing that same thing and going down a pant size from where I was back in high school, and
Mhm.
looking in the mirror and being just like, I really like how I look. And that moment of being like, wow, I really love how I look, like I had never experienced that before in my life. And that was probably the most profound like experience for me, where I was like, okay, that's better than any short-term gain, any short-term pleasure that I've ever had. Is this moment where I can see the accumulation of all that hard work done over the years.
And the fact that it took hard work over years makes it that much more valuable. Like how we associate value to something is not how easy it is to get. It's the fact that it's something that's challenging. You have to put work into it, makes it that much more valuable. And the thing
Mm-hmm.
with fitness too, you can't outsource it. You can't buy it. Like
Right.
it's not like, oh, I'm going to hire someone to build me a body. I mean, you could hire a coach and trainers and stuff and get the help you need, but you still got to do the work, right?
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to do the work. I mean, yes, you can get the help and the guidance and everything else, and absolutely, I encourage that. But nobody can do it for you. It's not like, hey, I want to have a nice house. I'm going to hire the best contractor and carpenters and blah 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 and landscapers, and they're just going to come in and build me a house, right? Like nobody can just come in and build you a body, right?
Right.
You got to do the
Yeah.
work. And
Mm-hmm.
when you build it yourself, you do it, you achieve it yourself. Yeah, the satisfaction is that you get. It's
Yeah.
unmatched. I mean, unless you've experienced it, you really can't appreciate it. I'm glad you brought that up because I can certainly appreciate what you're sharing there and the feeling of like looking in the mirror, and just being proud of what you see, being proud of the reflection, or being surprised, like, wow, I really look that good, you know,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And there's no like parade for you for every small achievement that you make. So like when you're making this climb, like it's very much like a self-driven like motivation, like path that you're going down. Right? It's like all those hours of work of going down and going to the gym, or all those small victories adding up, and all of it just kind of floating underneath the radar. And then finally getting to like it, like one moment where you like look in the mirror and you're like, wow, holy shit, I look really great, and I've been really putting in the work. And it's like a feeling of being really proud of yourself. And no amount of short-term fix that you can get in the instant, in like a singular moment, really compares to that feeling of seeing years and years of hard work add up. So, and that's what I'm trying to do out here in LA, right? I'm trying to like every gig I play, every person I meet, every new student I get, all the years of practice and playing, back home, adding up to where I am today. Like, you know, hopefully there's a moment in the future where I get to a spot where like I can be like, wow, you know, I really did it, and I really stuck it out. There's no short-term fix that can equate to the feeling you get when you look and you see all the accumulation of all of your hard work that you've put in over the years. And that's what I'm trying to do out here in LA by putting myself in a difficult setting, a different environment, a more competitive environment, is to hopefully accumulate small wins. Every new gig that I get, every new person I meet, all the things I did back on the East Coast, everything, you know, hopefully there will be a moment in the future where I can look back and I can be like, wow, I really reached a really incredible height. And, you know, it's all that hard work I did behind the scenes really added up. And even if it doesn't, like, at least I can still go to bed at night knowing that I tried and that I gave it everything I had to get there. I mean, as opposed to never trying or never putting yourself in those situations because of fear of failure or whatnot, which is what most people do.
Absolutely. I can appreciate that. To have the satisfaction of going out there and giving it your all. Like, even if you do fail, like you die trying, so to speak, if you fail in the process, at least you have the satisfaction to know you went out there and gave it your best versus throwing in the towel before you even start. I mean,
exactly.
That's one thing I got to say I really respect and admire about you and your whole journey of what you're doing. You know, like, I've seen that with your fitness journey. I mean, you took the action right from the get-go, but even now with this change in career, I mean, that takes a lot of balls. I mean, to pack up and to try something new, right? Especially relatively later in life. I mean, you know, you're in your late 30s to just upshift and try something new.
Yeah. Well, thanks for saying that. I mean, I don't think I would have had the guts to do it if I didn't go through your program and I didn't make the change that I made physically, because of the parallel between that and other aspects of my life. It's funny how that it trained me to approach that, to have the same approach towards other aspects of my life.
Absolutely. I mean, you do see that the discipline, the skills, the mindset, the persistence and the consistency, all these habits and traits that you can develop through fitness, they carry over into other elements of life and other aspects. And you got to ask yourself too, like, if you're shortchanging things in your fitness because you don't have the motivation or the willpower or the discipline, where else don't you have the motivation, the willpower, or the discipline? You know, like, think of it from career or family or personal development in all areas. If you're not willing to put in the work to build your body to get in better shape and to improve your health, where else are you falling short? Because how you do something is how you do everything. It's not like, oh, I'm a fantastic in such and such an area and I'm terrible in others. Now, I mean, there are some exceptions to that. I mean, somebody might have a successful business because they put all their eggs into that basket, and then they kind of have a terrible body because they've neglected it. But generally speaking, there is some carryover. Like, how you do something is generally how you do anything. You know, if you are that type of person who's a go-getter and willing to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, willing to put yourself on the line, take the action, right? You'll probably be doing that in other areas as well. And I love to see that parallel, how building your body can carry over into building a better career, building better relationships, just a better quality of life, more than just I'm lean and I'm fit. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, having a physique that you're proud of is great, but really, I think the building up of the mind and the mindset that you develop through getting in shape is what really translates. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the saying, like, we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. It's the same thing with working out. Like I rarely wake up motivated, because in my head I have it like, oh, I'm going to be straightening and it's going to be physically taxing and I'm going to be exhausted, I'm going to be tired or whatever. And then I start working out and I'm like, okay, this actually feels really, really great. And if it does get strenuous and painful or whatnot, it's typically like those last like 1 or 2 reps. So you think about it, if you do 10 reps and 8 of them feel really great, but then the last 2 are like kind of difficult, it's like how long did those last 2 reps take you? Like 10 seconds. So,
Yeah.
and you think you're like, okay, I do like 10 to 12 sets a workout. So what is that? 120 seconds of strain and difficulty, right? For the long-term benefits of and being proud of myself, like it's worth it, that 120 seconds of workout. And it's the same thing with like with what I'm doing out here too. It's like I find that like the mental part of starting over again is a lot harder than actually starting again. Like it's like what I tell myself in my head, that internal dialogue always wreaking havoc, saying like, oh, this wasn't a good idea. You made a mistake. This is hard. You should just go back home. Things were easier back home. You had it better there or whatnot. It's like, it's always in my mind. But then like when I look at it and I come out of that for a little bit and I look around, I'm like, actually, this is really great. And it's super cool that I'm doing this. And I'm with my wife, I'm with my family. We have a comfortable place to live. I have food, I have shelter, I have passion and drive. Like really, life isn't as painful as I am making it out to be. So it's the same. So it's that parallel we were just talking about.
The battle of all this is making the mental decision to just start. Like that is really the hardest part. And I've mentioned this before as well. Like, the hardest exercise you will ever do at the gym is walking through the front door, like pushing open that front door and just getting there. Because once you're there, like the rest is like coasting downhill. It gets easier from there. The hardest part is just to mentally decide that you're going to do it. And that applies with anything, like with your eating habits and stuff. Sure, I mean, you got to debate, oh, well, I really want that slice of pizza, or I really want that ice cream, or I really want that cake. But then you got to say, like, do I really want the gut and that goes along with the ice cream and the pizza and the cake? Or would I rather have, you know, the lean muscle definition and the health and the energy that goes along with eating better? And once you decide, like, that's the hardest part. That's where the battle is in the decision. And most people are not willing to make that decision, because once you actually start, sure, there's a little bit of, we can say, discomfort, but it's short-lived. It really is.
Yeah. I really feel like most people sabotage themselves mentally and they set themselves up for failure. Like the physical part of working out and being in the gym, like, I mean, sure, it's hard. I'm not saying it's not easy or anything. Like, sure, it is difficult, but it's not that difficult. It's not something you can't overcome. Clearly, there's people who have been doing it their entire lives who keep showing up day in and day out. So how hard could it be? If it really was like the hardest thing in the world and you were going to be completely destroyed afterwards, then there would be nobody who's in shape. Like there's obviously the people who do it and show up day in and day out. They found a way to find enjoyment in doing it day in and day out.
This kind of brings me to another point. Fitness doesn't have to be as grueling as a lot of people think. Because right now, if we go on social media, YouTube, Instagram, wherever, and you're seeing all these videos, you're seeing the extremes, because that's what gets shown. That's what gets attention. Then the algorithm picks it up, and that's what gets pumped in your face. So, like, you know, you go watch fitness and someone's bench pressing 500 pounds or, you know, doing ridiculous feats of strength. I mean, obviously, it doesn't look comfortable or anything. And I mean, you're seeing the peak, the pinnacle, the extreme side, but most of that it's like a pyramid, right? Like the base is easy work. It's foundation work. And you're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, if you will, the peak of the pyramid. You're not seeing what really goes on behind the scenes in order to build the strength to that level. And even in top level athletes, most of their work is done at sub-maximal effort, where it's actually enjoyable or easy. But when you see them compete and pushing themselves to the limits, you know, which is the highlight reel you see on social media, sure, that's intense. You know, that's 100%. But what they're doing in day-to-day training is sub-maximal effort. And in the endurance world, for example, one of the common trends now is the idea of polarized training, where 80% of your workouts are done at sub-maximal low intensity effort. It's kind of like building the base of that pyramid, and only 20% are high intensity where you're really pushing it. So 80-20, like 80% of the time you're doing easy, enjoyable workouts.
Yeah.
20% you're pushing it. And that can apply to like gym workouts as well. Like you're not always in there grinding out these ball busting squats and back breaking deadlifts, and like it doesn't always be that extreme. Like most of the workouts, most of the sets you're doing are actually sub maximal. I mean, sure, you're going to feel the muscles or whatever, but it's not in the pain threshold, right? It's manageable.
Totally. Like I remember an analogy you told me one time that I really, really liked, where it was like, I remember I did a leg day one day where I did like really heavy back squats, and I was sore for like a week after I had done those back squats. And you had a really great analogy one time. You're like, imagine like you're a builder and you walk in to a home, and all these walls got completely knocked down and you had to rebuild them like brick by brick. It would take an entire week. It would take so much time to rebuild that. But now imagine like if you went in and there were just like little patches in the walls, it wouldn't take nearly as much time for you to recover. And I think that was so great, because it's true. Like if you go in and you completely annihilate yourself and you go super, super hard all the time, it's going to take more time for you to recover. You're going to accumulate less volume from doing it that way than if you go in and you do that sub-maximal effort and then repair yourself quicker. You can get 3 leg days in a week as opposed to 1 leg day in for like a week and a half. And plus, like, if you're that sore, it makes your day-to-day life that much harder too. So then you're going to be more resistant to going in and doing it again, because you remember how much pain and soreness you were in for literally a week after. Who wants to live their life like just chronically sore like that? I don't.
No. And then of course the risk of injury goes up exponentially once you're pushing that kind of intensity. That's where the injuries happen. I mean, most of the time, and I'm looking at my own background and the injuries that I've had, most of them were totally preventable and self-inflicted because I'm just pushing beyond my limits or not warming up properly. It was totally preventable. Like if I could go back in time, I could totally undo and have avoided those injuries. And now in recent years, like I haven't had any serious injuries in the last decade of training, because I've learned the lessons from my stubborn youth, if you will, of pushing too hard. And I'm willing to be in the moment. This is more of an advanced mindset, but don't have any preset expectations or hard set expectations. I mean, sure, we can expect to make progress over time and hope to make progress over time and everything else, but don't be emotionally attached to it and say like, hey, today is leg day, I got to hit a PR in my squats. And you're going in and you're judging your self-worth by that PR in your squat, for example. And if you don't hit it, then, oh, the day is ruined and I suck and blah, blah. Like if you're feeling strong and good, okay, maybe we can go for a personal best. But if today, like you're going through your warm-up routine and everything else, and you're just like, I'm not really feeling it today. Like, if you're not feeling it, then that's fine. It could be a sub-maximal day. Or maybe we're not even going to do the squats. We're going to do some easier exercise variations instead. And I'm very in the moment with my workouts. So like I will play it by ear. I mean, I'll try a certain exercise. If it's feeling good, I'll do it. If it's not, I have no problem scrapping that and doing something else. Like I'm very flexible with my approach now. Whereas I know in the past, I used to like, oh, it's bench day or it's squat day or whatever, and I had this preset number, like I got to hit this number or else, I'm a total, I suck and I'm a piece of crap or something. Like, you kind of have these emotional attachments to your performance, whereas you realize your energy and your performance is going to fluctuate day to day. And if you don't try to push beyond your limits, it's more enjoyable because you don't put that stress on yourself, for one, but your risk of
Mhm.
injury and everything else, and your sustainability is going to be much better and much more long term.
Yeah.
We want to be consistently good versus occasionally great. And
Mhm.
that's a game changer. Another way I say it, like good enough and good enough consistently. But most people approach fitness with that occasionally great. Like when I'm motivated and when I got nothing on my schedule and when I can give it 110% to the workout and 110% to the diet and then I'm going to start this super hardcore program. Like, how long is that going to last? Like,
Right.
the stars are not going to align forever. Like, life's going to throw obstacles and curveballs, and it's going to be suboptimal most of the time. But can you
Mhm.
be consistently good enough versus occasionally great? And this is something I've seen this over and over again when I talk to like professional athletes and just people who are really at a high level. When you get to know them and see what they're doing, it's nothing crazy. Like you must think like when you see like for example like a pro bodybuilder. Now there are some exceptions, sure. Some of them are doing some crazy stuff, but for the most part, when you see them in the gym, like they're not doing anything crazy. Like prime
Right.
example, last month I was up in Toronto, Ontario, and I trained at Pure Muscle and Fitness. It's a hardcore gym up there in Burlington, just outside Toronto.
Mhm.
While I was there was at least 10 IFBB pro bodybuilders. Like this is a mega hub for pro bodybuilders in the Toronto area. And I was even working out with like one of my buddies who I helped coach back in the day. He's an IFBB pro
Mhm.
now. So I was working out with a pro. And while we're there, we're also like looking around and it's like, holy, like that guy's huge and he's huge and she's huge. And he was saying, oh yeah, like this person won the nationals and this person's won this and that. And they're all pro bodybuilders. I felt, at a place up there.
Yeah.
Right. But
Mhm.
watching them work out, like they're still doing normal workouts. Like they're not
Mhm.
doing anything crazy. Now, sure, the weights are in proportion to their strength and everything else, but like they're not doing what you'd see on YouTube and Instagram, right? Like
Right.
screaming and crazy lifts and moving mountains of weight or whatever. Like it was
Sure.
very normal workouts, but it's
Mhm.
just they're doing those normal workouts consistently,
Yeah.
day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And
Mhm.
same with nutrition. I mean, when you look at what they're eating, I mean, they're still eating the same food that the normal people eat when they're eating healthy. It's just they're doing that consistently. It's not
Yeah.
like I diet extreme or, oh, I got to cut out all my carbs and just go carnivore, or I got to, intermittent fast, or I got to do some crazy. They're not doing any of that shit. They're
Mhm.
just eating real food consistently,
Yeah.
the right ratios for their goals, whether it's gaining mass or losing body fat. I mean, it's actually very boring. It's
Yeah.
very boring, but they're
Yep.
doing it consistently. Sometimes I'm guilty of that too. Like I always thought, man, if someone's in really good shape, then they must be doing some crazy extreme stuff. More often than not, they're not. It's just they're masters of the basics.
Yeah. So on Memorial Day, my wife and I we went to Long Beach,
Okay,
and there was a calisthenics like little part there. It wasn't a park, but it was just like some bars and there was some dip bars and stuff, like really small things. And so I went over there and I just did some pull-ups and there was a guy in there and he was in crazy, crazy shape. And we started talking and everything. He was really, really nice guy. And I gave it up to him. I was like, man, I was like, you look incredible. I go, what have you been doing? Like, what are your workouts? And he
mhm.
goes, pull-ups, push-ups, dips, lunges, hanging leg raises.
All right,
That was it. That was it. Pull-ups, push-ups, dips, lunges, hanging leg raises.
all
That's
right,
all that's all he does. And I was like, wow. I go, that's really crazy. I go, you just do that all the time? And he's like, I work out 3 times a week and I just do those. He's like, he's like, I'll do like variations on them. Like I'll do like planche push-ups, or
right,
I'll do like incline push-ups, or I'll do high pull-ups, or I'll do tricep dips, or I'll do chest dips. I'll do walking lunges. I'll do reverse lunges. He's like hanging leg raises. He's like pretty much always the same, but that's his whole thing. It's like it's just so basic and just so easy, like, or maybe not easy, but like just so basic and just so simple. And I just loved it. I just thought that was great. I was like, look at this guy, like incredible shape. He's working out at the beach. He looks incredible. He's shredded. I mean, of course, he's also, I mean, you could tell he eats a very, very clean diet, like to be down at that level of body fat and to be able to progress with calisthenics to that kind of degree.
Sure.
But I just thought it was great because, you know, we get in our head sometimes that like we need the best program, or we need all this equipment, we need the machines, we need the bands, we need the kettlebells, we need the dumbbells, we need all this stuff, and we need to be in the perfect environment, and we need to be in the right mindset, and we need this and that and all that to make progress. I mean, how long do you think this guy's workout takes, like every single day? Like 30 minutes? Like maybe 30 minutes, 40?
I would assume it's less than an hour, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And he likes to go fast too. You could tell. I was watching him to go, and he's like, I mean, he's resting maybe 30 seconds between exercises, but he's going fast. So he's getting a conditioning workout at the same time. So, I mean, I just love it because it just takes all of that complexity out of working out, and complexity that we make up in our own mind that working out has to be.
And it's not these marathon, you know, workouts. Like, one thing that it can distort people, like sometimes you watch those old video clips of Arnold saying, you know, you got to work out 4 or 5 hours a day and lift hundreds of pounds, and like just exaggerate. Like he's telling his workout stories just like an old man tells a fish story, right? It gets bigger and bigger every time he tells the story. Now,
yeah,
don't get me wrong, I'm sure like they trained hard and they trained long and everything else, but you know, there's a fish story in there, right? It gets elaborated the more the story is told, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to have a 5-hour workout, right? It doesn't take that much. I mean, heck, like you mentioned, a 30-minute workout or something done consistently can produce amazing results. And it's something that is realistic. Like you can do that consistently good versus the occasionally great mega workout, which leaves you exhausted and destroyed for days afterwards, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And most people don't want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
I don't want to be Mr. Olympia or I don't even want to look like a bodybuilder. Like I want to have a lean, athletic physique. I don't want to look big and bulky and, you know, gym bro type of look. That's not what I'm interested in. And truthfully, that's not what most people are interested in. Most people just want that lean, athletic physique, and you can obtain that with very short workouts, very in a very obtainable schedule that anybody could do.
And that's what I refer to as total fitness bodybuilding, because it's really building your total fitness. I mean, yes, we use bodybuilding exercises, but it's not bodybuilding to the point of competing. Now, if that's somebody's goal and they want to take it to the competition stage, that's fine. I mean, I did it for years, right? That was my goal at one time. But it's more about building your body, right? Like, and that doesn't mean being 275 pounds with, you know, 2% body fat. Like it doesn't mean that the extremes that you're seeing like on the Olympia stage, and that is so far outside the realm of most people's possibility. We can't even wrap our head around it. Like that's like, you know, the billionaires in society. Like the number of people who have a physique or even have the potential to build a physique like that is like the number of people you see on the street who are multi-billionaires. That rare. to put it in perspective, more people have won the lottery than have won the Mr. Olympia. And I mean, what are your odds of the lottery? Like, you're not going to bank your retirement on, well, I'm just going to buy my lottery ticket and I'm good. You know, retirement plan set. I got my lottery ticket, right? We're good.
Right.
Yeah. No. Put it in perspective. Like there's way exponentially more lottery winners than there are Mr. Olympias.
Yeah.
You know? But yet that's what we see. You know, you go in on social media, you're typing bodybuilding on Google or YouTube, like you see that and people assume this is what bodybuilding is. Like, no.
Right. And some people just assume too that like fitness is all just about like hypertrophy and just getting stronger all the time too. And there's other aspects of fitness too that people neglect that are actually going to make you feel better in your everyday life, like mobility and conditioning. Like those are other aspects that people neglect and they don't even consider when they get into a fitness program.
So again, that comes back to the total fitness aspect of what we're trying to achieve here, right? To have that well balanced. And from a fitness point of view and a practical point of view, I would rather be a quote unquote jack of all trades in terms of fitness. Have decent cardio, decent strength, decent, mobility and athleticism, versus being extreme in either one and probably neglecting others. Like, for example, like extreme in terms of hypertrophy, but can't run a mile, or extreme in terms of endurance, but can't do a pull-up. I mean, I have mediocre endurance and mediocre strength and mediocre, like be a jack of all trades, where I'm good but not a master. And from a practical point of view, in terms of like real life strength, that would serve you so much better. So you got the stamina that you can be better than average. You got the strength that you're better than average, and the mobility that you're better than average, but you don't need to be exceptional, like pro level, elite level in anything, really, from a practical point of view.
Right.
Unless that's your goal. I mean, of course, let's face it, people who are elite athletes, they're probably not listening to this podcast. They're working with coaches who are going to get them to the elite level in their specific sport.
Yeah, that's why I've been really getting into kettlebells recently. So I heard a quote the other day I really liked. It said, kettlebells aren't great for anything, but they're good for everything.
Nice. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I've been really, really getting into kettlebells lately because I love the conditioning aspect of it. I love the mobility it builds, and it builds strength too. Now, is it, if you're building strength, is it more ideal to do like a barbell deadlift than it would be like a kettlebell deadlift? Sure, you're going to build more strength with a barbell because you can load it up more. But I mean, when you're doing like kettlebell complexes and you're going between rows and deadlifts and cleans and squat presses and all that, it's like you really get a great total body workout and conditioning all at the same time. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling motivated. I was going to do a spin ride actually, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like doing it. I've been doing a lot of Peloton rides lately, and I just was like, I don't know, it just sounds boring to me to do it. So I found this kettlebell complex online where it was you take two 25-pound kettlebells and you do a swing, then you do a swing up to like a row, and then you do a swing up to what is it when you catch it above your head like this? What's that called?
It's a snatch.
A snatch.
Hold on, it's snatch. If it's a clean and then a press, right? But if it's just with single move, it's a snatch. Yeah.
Okay. So it was a swing, and then it was like an upward row, like an upright row, and then it was a swing to a snatch,
right.
And then it was down like this, and then it was a squat to a thrust,
Yeah,
and then it was down, and then you go and you do that all over again. And I would do 20 sets of that with 20-second to 30-second rest in between. And I started off and I could do like 7 or 8 of them. By the time I got to the 20th set, I was doing 2. I was exhausted. And I tell you, I woke up today, I definitely feel like I did something yesterday. Like my hamstrings, my glutes, my upper back, the delts and everything. Like I definitely feel like I did a workout yesterday. But what was great about it is that I had so much energy afterwards too. Like I got done and I was like, all right, day commence.
Nice.
Whereas I find like if I do like a gym workout, like a hypertrophy workout, sometimes I get done and I'm like, because I'm like, okay, doing a set, take 2 minutes to rest. I'm just kind of sitting there. Okay, do another set. Okay, wait 2 minutes. It's like a slow process as opposed to the kettlebells is like bang, bang, really, really quick.
There's a time and a place for both. I mean, from general fitness point of view and functionality, I would like the faster paced kettlebell work. And that's the way I kind of do most of my training now. But if you are training for that specific strength and power, you do need that rest time. And it's not just to catch your breath or because, I'm out of breath, like from a cardiovascular point of view. It's to physically rejuvenate your energy systems, like the ATP, the adenosine triphosphate high power energy system. That takes several minutes to fully regenerate so that you're able to exert that power again. Now, when it comes to the lactic acid energy system, which is what you're doing when you're the faster paced kettlebell work, that can be rejuvenated relatively quickly, like, a short rest break just to kind of get your heart rate a little lower, clear out some of that lactate in the system. you're good to go, and you can kind of keep going at that moderate intensity. And of course, the aerobic energy system, that's you can keep that going for a prolonged period of time. That's when you're like jogging, walking, whatever. I mean, that could go on for hour plus, right? You know, you can that energy system, but the lactic acid energy system, that's the primary one that you're working with, those kettlebell complexes, where it's still strength, but it's mostly like muscular endurance conditioning. And short rest periods actually work good. And they're fun workouts, right? They're fun. And from a practical point of view, it's really good. Now, if you want to maximize strength and power, then you need to slow it down and take those 2-3 plus minute rest periods between sets.
No, totally. It's just I've been doing this now for so many years that like I'm looking for ways to break it up and change it up at this point, because I've done hypertrophy workouts for years. I've done just straight calisthenics for years. And like now I'm living in an apartment. I don't have a lot of room. Kettlebells are really convenient and they're fun. Like it's fun to try out new complexes and try some things out. And you gain strength too in other areas like rotational exercises and stuff. Like you gain strength in other aspects that like maybe you had neglected prior doing like just straight hypertrophy stuff or calisthenics. Yeah, so it's just enjoyable for me right now. I just like doing it. I like going online, finding different complexes, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that out, and then trying it out. And some work for me, some don't work for me, or whatnot. But it just keeps things exciting. Wake up every day, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I got a new thing that I want to try out.
And getting back to the kind of the key theme here of the whole motivation and reframing fitness. That's a great example. Like you mentioned, your plan was the spin ride for that day, but you didn't feel like doing the spin ride. So instead of just saying, I don't feel like working out today, because workout today means a spin ride. I don't want to go for a spin ride. Screw it. I'm not going to work out. You said, well, what do I want to do? Right? I want to do some kettlebell work. And the thing we got to realize when it comes to fitness, especially from general health and fitness, there's such a variety of things that we can do. Like this is a pet peeve of mine. You hear it a lot in the gym bro bodybuilding world. I hate cardio. Cardio sucks. Well, it means you just haven't found the right cardio for you. Like if your idea of cardio is running on the treadmill, and you say, I don't like running on the treadmill, and running on the treadmill is cardio, thus I don't like cardio. What about something else? Like, what about going outside for a walk? What about cycling? What about going for a swim or a hike, or using another form of cardio equipment at the gym? Like, there's so much that you can do. It doesn't have to be running on the GD treadmill, right? You know?
Yeah.
It's the same with weight training. Like some guys say, oh, I love weight training. And well, let's just say your idea of weight training is, you know, max effort barbell back squats. Like if that's the only exercise you can do for weight training, eventually you're going to say, I hate weight training because I don't want to go in there and do max effort barbell back squats. But do another exercise, right? You can do other movements. You can do machines, do other body parts. Like there's such a variety of exercises. So people say like, I don't like cardio, or I don't like weight training, or I don't like whatever. Why don't we find something that you do like? Or at least something that you can manage. I mean, you don't necessarily have to love it, but something that you can do.
Yeah.
And if you open your mind to it, you'll be amazed at just how much there is that you can do. And then once you start doing it, you might say like, hey, this is actually pretty cool. I like this. I want to get better at it. You know, just like you have with the kettlebell work. And I can appreciate that because, I mean, I've been doing a lot more kettlebell work in my training. And it's unique because I never really focused on it before. I mean, in my early days, none of the gyms even carried kettlebells. Like in the fitness world, it's a relatively new thing to have kettlebells in a commercial gym or to have them available. Like it's, I mean, I know they've been around for eons, especially, you know, over in the Soviet Union and places like that. But I mean, in America, kettlebells are a relatively new thing, right? So it's not something that I grew up training with. So it's kind of a novelty, if you will.
Yeah. I feel like they've really taken off recently. And they're so customizable and unique. And it's just again, just a fun thing. I mean, I mean, I hate being on a treadmill. I hate walking on a treadmill. I hate running on a treadmill. I just think it's like the most boring, mundane thing. And like the second I step on a treadmill, all I can think about is getting off of it. I can't stand it.
You're like a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah, exactly. But when I was younger, my mom and my dad, they had a treadmill down in the basement, and that was their cardio workout. Was they would just go running on the treadmill because we lived in New Hampshire, and 9 months out of the year you can't go outside anyway.
Right.
So they would go down and run on the treadmill, and I tried doing it, and I just never liked it. I never enjoyed it. It just was never fun. And then I got into spin riding and stuff. And then I had people who were telling me like, oh, you actually burn more calories if you do HIIT cardio, or if you do running, or if you do this or you do that. I'm just like, yeah, I don't really care though. I can cycle every day and enjoy it. I like doing the rides. I like doing the competitive nature of the rides. I think it's a lot of fun. It just feels more competitive. So I don't care that it's not the optimal thing. I just care that I like to do it.
There's a lot of power to what you just said there. Again, some people get tangled up in the weeds thinking it has to be optimal. But if you don't like what is the quote unquote optimal and you're not going to do it consistently, then it's not optimal.
Right.
You have to be consistently good. We're going back to that. You again, consistently good versus occasionally great. If you can't do it consistently, or you absolutely hate it, or it just causes pain or discomfort. Prime example, like running. I am not a runner. I'm not built for it. I find it hard on the body. If I try to run for any period of time, it's usually bother my knees, my hips, my back, my ankles, shin splints. Like it's just, it doesn't feel good. But cycling, I love it. Right? Like I can get on that bike. I feel like it's just a natural movement for me. I really enjoy it. So find something that you enjoy, and you have to be open-minded to try these different things, but realize, just because you say like, I don't like X, well, try Y, try something else. And sometimes we just really have to be willing to try for the motivation side of things. But I mean, as far as building the motivational muscles, because like that's where I really view this. Like motivation is almost like a muscle. The more you use it, the more you can build it. And how do you do it? I mean, you can even probably share some examples too, from the music world. Like I know you're teaching a lot of drumming students, and it takes motivation and discipline and routine to build that practice. Like, how do you encourage some of your students in that, or how do you even get yourself to do it?
I mean, it's rare the days where I wake up where like I want to go practice, to be honest. Like I love playing live. I love playing with other people. I love going and playing shows. I love like rehearsing with other people and stuff. Like it's fun, but like going into a room by myself and working things out. And I mean, I've done it my whole life now. I've been playing for 24 years, and like a large portion of that has been me in a closet-sized room by myself, working on things by myself. And I'm just kind of like at an age right now where it's like, okay, I'm kind of burnt out with practicing. Like I don't want to practice anymore. I just want to go play with other people. But keeping the end game in mind, and also using that as motivation. Like, okay, well, I can't go play with people if I don't sound good. I can't go play this gig with all these artists because they want me to learn X amount of tunes, and I didn't learn any of those tunes because I didn't want to go practice by myself. You always using that as motivation to get me to get into the practice room and do that grueling kind of work. But it's the same kind of thing with working out. It's like it's a painful process sometimes because you go in and you're trying to do something, you can't do it. Try it again, you fail again. You're just constantly trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing. And it like sometimes I leave the practice room and I have that kind of just like, screw it. Like, I'm not getting this today. It's not going to happen. I'm just going to leave because now I just feel like I'm just banging my head up against the wall and not getting anywhere. So it's the same kind of thing with working out. It's like, there are days where I go in and I want to hit X amount of pull-ups, or I want to do X amount of dips, or I want or I want to feel better, or I want to move better, I want to do whatever, and it just doesn't happen. But and sometimes if it doesn't happen, like it's not a big deal. Like I just show up. I just keep showing up. I just keep showing up. And like there's more days of frustration than there are days of like of true like feeling of accomplishment and achievement, truthfully. But I know what the end result is of staying consistent and disciplined with working out and dieting. I know what the end result is of working hard and showing up every day, even on the days that you don't want to. And I love that stuff. I love climbing for something. I love striving for something. I feel like how boring would life be if there was nothing to strive for, if you weren't climbing for something, if you were just there. And then you look around and you're like, okay, is this it? This is it. I guess this is it. Okay, now what's there left to do? Just live until I die one day? Like that just sounds so boring to me, and that's not exciting, and that's not what life should be about, at least in my opinion.
And again, I love to hear that, because here, I mean, you're a professional musician. You've been playing for 25 years. You still, I mean, it's still a burden to go practice, right? Like, it doesn't get easier. And I'm sure when you're playing, you must have people say, oh, wow, you're so talented. You're so lucky. Oh, I wish I had your talent. I wish I could be as good as you. Like it's as if this is just, you know, some gift that just fell onto your lap, like the ability to take those two sticks and make music.
Right.
Like, it's no, this is 25 years of work. And again, it doesn't get easier. It's not like you jump out of bed in the morning like, woohoo, I can't wait to go practice my drums today.
Right. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some days there are. Some days I'm really excited to go. And I always try to tell myself, like, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I get to go practice my drums. I'm like, how great is it that I get to wake up every day and go chase something that I actually truly care about? And it's the same thing with working out. How lucky am I to get up and to get to go work out and to get to go move my body and feel good and train? Like, I mean, I know people who are paraplegics who can't move. Like, I mean, I get to go do this. I mean, that's a pretty cool. Like, I'm pretty lucky. If you don't feel lucky, then you need to look around and gain some perspective, because there's plenty of people who would love to be in your situation who aren't.
Yeah, would love to have the ability to go for a walk or to go work out, or So I love that reframe. That's another powerful reframe. It's not I have to, it's I get to, right? You have this opportunity. You're given a gift of being able to do this, right? You have the opportunity to practice. You have the opportunity to work out. That's a huge reframe for sure, versus thinking of it as a chore or a burden. Like, I gotta go work out. Like, you know, someone's like, oh, I gotta do the housework. I gotta do the dishes. I gotta go wash the car. Oh, right. You know, look at it as a something you're proud of, and think of it, you know, the long-term vision again, getting back to like, where is this going to take you? And those boring hours of practice, so to speak, are what's going to make you shine when you get on stage, versus if you didn't do it. So I love that reframe. And how do you, like, when you're in those moments, again, you need to practice, but you're kind of like, I don't feel like doing it today. Like, do you have any pep talk or strategies, or like, what do you do in those type of situations?
I'm just like so in the groove of just doing it every day now that like I don't even really entertain the thoughts. Like the thoughts come up like, I gotta go practice or whatever. But whatever, I'm just gonna go do it. And it's the same thing with working out. It's like I just wake up and I just like, okay, coffee, breakfast, walk the dogs, work out. It's just like it's just routine. Yeah, it's just like completely automatic at this point. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any means. Like I've had moments in my life, plenty of moments in my life, where I went to go play a gig and I didn't prepare. And I went and I left feeling like, wow, I really sucked at that, or I really ate shit. And it's because of my own fault. It's because I didn't put in the work. That's something that just eats at me. I hate that. I hate failing at something because I didn't work hard enough. Like if I get overlooked for something or if I lose out on an opportunity because I'm not the person for that opportunity, like I can live with that. But I can't live with knowing that I could have been that guy, but I didn't put the work in.
I can appreciate that. Who was it? There was a famous basketball coach. I'm not sure if it was John Wooden, but he had the way he used to train his players is, you'll know at the end of the game who's the winner and the loser, and it's not by the score on the scoreboard, it's but by who gave the most effort out on the court.
Mm-hmm.
If you gave maximum effort and you legitimately lost because you were playing against a better team, you can still hold your head high because you gave it your all. You did the best you could, right?
Yeah.
You did the best that you could. You were just outmatched because they were better. But if you went out there and you had a half-ass game, you didn't really give it your all, you were holding back or you were lazy, didn't really go for it, and you won because the other team was just, a less skilled team, and you just beat them because they weren't as good, then you're really not a winner.
Right.
Because you didn't give it your all. And we really need to kind of gauge progress by that. And, not always looking at the external numbers, but how much are you demanding of yourself and how much are you pushing yourself? Like, are you consistently good? Right? Are you consistently pushing it? And I'll even share a story of that. I remember one year, this was in 2008. I was competing in bodybuilding. It was our local provincial championships. The previous year, I won the overall title, right? So that was the peak of my bodybuilding career. I won the light heavyweight class and I won the overall title. And I got a little bit cocky because I'm the overall champ, and I kind of thinking, well, I'm going to go in the next year and I'm going to blow everybody away. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be, playing the whole bodybuilding, coming in a little bigger and all that. And I didn't diet as strict leading into that show, and I wasn't as strict with my cardio either. And so I came in a bit soft, and I actually didn't even make the weight class that I was going for. I was trying to make the light heavyweight class. I came in a few pounds too heavy. I ended up competing as a heavyweight. I actually won the heavyweight category and got a trophy. But the reason was because the competitors I was up against, they were novice competitors and they just weren't as good. But I wasn't proud of that victory because I knew I wasn't at my best. Right. So even though, I have a trophy, it didn't mean anything because I knew I didn't truly earn it. I wasn't at my best. Whereas the previous year, when I did show up and win, I gave it my all. The stars aligned, if you will. Like I showed up at my best and I actually was the best on stage that year. There's a difference, you can feel that difference. And you really want to know, like, are you demanding the most of yourself? Are you asking the most of yourself? I like to unpack this and kind of see, like, what do you have any tips or strategies for when you're in that mental funk where, like, I know I need to work out, I know I should do it, but I don't want to. Like, is what goes on in your mind? Like, and again, this could be for practicing drums or it could be for working out or whatever. Like, do you have any ritual or routine or anything to kind of like flip the switch and get it done?
I mean, just know that like your brain is going to try to trick you, right? It's like, it's inevitable. Like, and no matter how long you've been doing it or how consistent you've been over the years, your brain is always going to try to talk you out of it all the time. And the more that you give into that and you start listening to that, the more likely you are going to do it. So, or you're going to consistently do it. So you just have to learn to just get started and just do it. Like, and give yourself permission to do an easy workout if you need to, or to go light, or to not strain too hard. Just get into the habit of just starting all the time. And inevitably down the line, it's like the thoughts never go away. You're still going to always have those thoughts that try to talk you out of it, but you just like stop listening to them. It's like they're there and it's like, hey, don't work out today. Shut up. And then you just and then you just go and you just do it. You just do it anyway. I mean, it doesn't take long to start to experience the benefits of consistent exercise and good nutrition. Like, you're going to start noticing some pretty substantial changes in a relatively short amount of time. I mean, like, I don't know, like we're talking, I guess it always depends on where you are and where you're trying to get to, right? But like, you're going to feel better. And you need to pay attention to that. Like, oh, like, how do I feel prior to a workout? How do I feel after a workout?
Mm-hmm.
How do I feel after 6 months of being consistent? How do I feel after giving in to temptation and ordering that pizza or buying that half-gallon of ice cream and 2 days later it's gone? How do you feel after that? How do you feel after a year of working out and looking down and seeing a six-pack? Paying attention to those cues and those events. And if you start to pay attention, you're going to notice, like, okay, all the hard work adding up, it gives me something to be proud of. My family's proud of me. I'm proud of me. Even if no one's proud of you, it doesn't matter. Are you proud of you?
Yeah.
And how you conduct yourself, how you hold yourself, like how you present yourself to the world and to other people and stuff, that trumps everything.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion. It's worth getting through that daily resistance. It's really not even that, I mean, at least for me, it's not even that hard to begin with. I mean, it was at the beginning, but now it's not. So just from just pushing through and doing it.
No, I love how you shared that. I mean, that's powerful stuff. And one of the things I've had to do this myself is give yourself permission to do easier workouts, shorter workouts. Like, give yourself permission to just show up. Give yourself permission to just get started. Because in my case, it's kind of unique where I was a former competitive bodybuilder and I went through the extreme side of things where, like, okay, 2 hours in the gym, an hour of cardio minimum, boiled chicken and broccoli diets, like, the extremes. And I could muster up the willpower for short durations. Like, let's say I was getting ready for a competition. I say, okay, for the next 4 months, it is 2 hours in the gym, 6 days a week, hour of cardio, boiled chicken, broccoli. Like, I could put the blinders on because I could see the finish line and I was motivated by the short-term goal of competing. And a bodybuilding competition is kind of like the perfect storm, if you will, of it's of a smart goal because it's specific, it's measurable. Like, you've got to show up on this date, you have to be in shape, and you're going to be judged in front of a panel of judges, auditorium spectators, your fellow competitors. Like, you're on stage wearing trunks under bright lights. Like, you can't hide. Like, you are as vulnerable can be. And if you're not in shape, right, you can't just suck it in and say, oh, like, and pretend to hide it or whatever. Like, everything is visible, and you can tell who put in the work and who didn't, right? And that motivation, that pressure actually worked for me in the short term. But the problem is, as soon as that pressure was off, i.e. the competition is over, the placings are announced, it's all said and done, then I was like, okay, now I'm going back to all the food that I deprived myself, right? I went 4 months or whatever without having a cheat meal. Now, where's the pizza place, right? Where's the all-you-can-eat buffet and with the bakery, and I'm going to get that gallon of ice cream, and because I felt like I deserve it. Hey, I just went through all this, the contest prep. I'm going to have me a big old celebration, and of course, the problem is once you let yourself go, then it's hard to undo that, and it just usually spiraled out of control, right? So it was the on and off again, and from one extreme to the other. Whereas, again, thinking of that consistently good versus the occasionally great, right? So for me, giving myself permission to do easy workouts, because there's a lot of times I don't have 2 hours to go to the gym, but I might have 30 minutes. Like, I can do something, right? Something's better than nothing. And that was a big mindset shift for me, is to give myself permission. Same when it came to cardio. Like, when I was competing, I always had this mindset: if I'm not doing at least an hour of cardio, I'm not spending enough time in my optimal fat burning zone, and it's not going to burn enough calories. What's the point? So it's got to be an hour or more or nothing. Like, hour or nothing. And it's hard to block off an hour, but there's lots of times when, hey, I got 10 minutes, I got 20 minutes. Like, I got these little blocks of time. So giving myself permission to take advantage of those little blocks of time was a game changer. That was huge. Another thing too is just getting into the habit of doing it anyway, even though you don't want to. Just do it. And I use the analogy of like brushing and flossing your teeth. Like, right? I actually learned about this in the book Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg is the author of that. He used this analogy in there, and it really resonated with me. Like flossing your teeth, and he had a big hang up over flossing his teeth, and a lot of people do. Like they just, I don't like flossing my teeth, but nobody wants to have cavities and bad oral hygiene, and you don't want to have teeth rot out of your head, when you're 50 years old, right?
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to take the time to floss your teeth. I mean, when it comes to flossing your teeth, like there really is no excuse not to do it, because you can't say, oh, I can't afford it. Like dental floss is dirt cheap. I mean, if you buy a pack of dental floss and it lasts you for weeks or whatever, like you can't even like pennies a day. Like, so
Right.
money is not the issue. Nobody can say, well, I can't afford to floss my teeth. Right. So you can't use financial aspect. You can't say I don't have time. Like what? Less than 60 seconds to floss your teeth?
Right.
Like, you mean out of your 24 hours a day, you can't find a minute? Like that's bull, right? Time is not really the excuse. It's just for whatever reason, we just don't do it. And I mean, I'm guilty of that. I mean, I went for years of not flossing my teeth enough. But after reading about that in that book, Tiny Habits, I said, you know what? I'm going to use flossing my teeth every evening before I go to bed. I'm going to use that as like a little willpower muscle builder, because I don't want to do it, but there's really no excuse not to do it. So I'm just going to force myself to do it anyway. So every evening I floss my teeth. Again, it takes 60 seconds max. I mean, I do it, and it's just there's that little tiny habit every day to build that muscle, that motivational willpower muscle, because again, nobody likes doing it, but we like the result, right?
Right.
Working out has to be the same way. It's like, sure, you might not want to do it, but you do it anyway. You just got to man up, get out of your own way, and do it anyway. And the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Totally. Right? Yeah. And you're going to like it. Like, truthfully, like, again, we suffer more in imagination than reality. Like you're actually, when you're doing it, you're going to be enjoying it. I love it. I love working out. It's funny. It's something that I love to do, but yet my mind tries to talk me out of it every single day. But I love feeling strong. I love getting a pump. I love looking in the mirror and liking what I'm seeing. And I love progressing. And it's a great feeling. So you just have to get started, and you need to be aware. You need to maintain your awareness of how you're feeling in these moments. And if you do that and you pay attention, like, you're going to like it. We're meant to move. Human beings are meant to move. We're supposed to work out. We're supposed to move our bodies. I mean, it's a natural human thing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at kids playing, like kids do not want to sit still. Like naturally, kids don't want to just vegetate on the sofa. And in a normal, natural environment, they never would. Nowadays, with video games and artificial stimulation, television, social media, and games, people are used to vegging out in an inactive state. But naturally, that never happens. Like, you want to move. Like kids want to run around and play and get outside and do shit. Like, you just don't want to be lazy and sit on your duff. And we got to get back to that. And the thing is, the more you give yourself permission to just take those little steps, the easier it's going to get, the better it's going to get. And then the cool thing is too, you get in that environment. Like once you start going to the gym and you make some acquaintances and you just get familiar with it, you're going to see some people and you're like, whoa, like look at that guy, or look at that gal, or look at who, like, wow, like that's impressive. Shit, I'd like to be able to do that. I'd like to look as good as that. Give you that motivation. And your environment, like getting around people who are operating at a higher level. Like, I know that's the whole reason you moved out to LA for the music scene, because you felt like you were the big fish in a little pond back home. Now you're a little fish in a big pond, right?
Yeah.
And that's motivating, because now, hey, they're going to pull you up to a higher level, right? So getting around people who will motivate you, whether you just see them and that motivates you because you want to strive for more, or you're actually getting around people who are encouraging you, hey, come on, let's do this, right?
Yeah.
Get people to pull you up versus people who, oh, don't expect too much of yourself, hey, take it easy, right? Slow down, right? You don't want to get hurt.
Right. Yeah, and that's what it totally was in back home on the East Coast. Like, I was playing in one of the hardest working bands on the East Coast. I was the director of a nonprofit community music school. I had a full roster of students. I had a home. I had all this stuff, but I was still like looking around, and I'm just like, so this is it. I was like, this is what it's going to be, because there's no higher than this here. And I'm 36. So, and I still have 30 more years of working, like essentially, right?
Yeah.
Before like I retire. Like, is this what I'm just going to do for the next 30 years? I'm just going to coast here. It's not what I wanted to do. It's not, I made the choice. I was like, I still got years, decades of my life that I want to go out and see what it is that I can do. It's good to know that I could always go back home and things could always probably settle back into how they were prior to when I left. But if you never start, then you'll never know where you could have gone. And it's the same thing with fitness. It's like, if you never start, then you never know what you could have became. And I think that's just a shame, getting to the end of your life not knowing what you could have done or who you could have been or what kind of impact you could have made.
Yeah, it's like the quote I remember hearing, I believe it was Tony Robbins. I heard this from. He said, like, there's two pains. You know, you have the pain of discipline, or you have the pain of regret. You know, and the pain of discipline, of actually putting in the work and showing up and taking the action, that weighs ounces. Whereas the pain of regret, of not doing that and then looking back, like, I wish I had of, what if, that pain weighs tons. And like, that is, even if you like talk to old people who are at the end of their life, that's one of the biggest regrets. It's like, oh, I wish I had tried. I wish I had went out and did something, versus playing it safe, if you will, and not trying too much. Like, you're only going through this world once. Like, damn, give it your damn best shot, right?
Absolutely.
Then have that regret of, oh, what if I had tried, or what if. It's sad to see. And even now, like, I get people, especially in my industry, I mean, I'm kind of gearing towards more older guys, 40 plus, and a lot of them are like, oh, I'm too old, like, I didn't start in my 20s or whatever, I'm too old now in my 40s or 50s or 60s or whatever they are, it's too late for me. And it's not. Like, there's guys in our program, I mean, who started in their 50s or even in their 60s, and I mean, they're still getting better. Now, don't get me wrong, they're probably not going to be elite level athletes or whatever, but they can still be way better than the average 50 or 60-year-olds and people in their age bracket. It's exciting to see when people take the bull by the horns, just take the plunge, just go for it. And then if you need help, seek out the help. I mean, the crazy thing is we live in such an amazing environment where anything you want to do, there's people and resources out there to help you. You're not flying blind, or you don't have to. I mean, I know some people choose to. They say, well, I know what to do. I'll figure it out on my own. Like I mentioned at the start of the podcast, hey, playing drums is easy. I just grab these two sticks. Right?
Yeah.
Me banging two sticks on the drums by myself, that's the slow way to learn. Or I could say, you know what? I'm going to actually get Jeff, who's a professional musician, just people, and have him teach me how to play these two sticks on these drums. And maybe I'll progress just a teeny bit faster. Right? Yeah. But a lot of people, no, I'll figure it out on my own. I know what to do. Right? That stubborn mentality. The shortcut is to find someone who's already doing what you want to do, and who's helping other people to do the same, and just have them guide you along a proven path. Right?
If you want to do something and you make the decision to do it, you need to find out who is already doing what it is that I want to do, and then you need to contact them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I did. That's what I did with you. And that's why I really gravitated to you in the first place, is because you go on YouTube and you look up all these different fitness guys, and they're all just like, I don't know, it's just all fluff. And you're like, okay, well, that doesn't seem like something that I could do. I'm not going to be a professional bodybuilder. I don't want to be a professional bodybuilder. I don't want to be this mega athlete or whatever like that. I just want to be a normal guy who just has fitness just a part of their everyday life, who just prioritizes it and makes it a part of my everyday life. Because to me, fitness is a part of my life. It is not my entire life. So it makes my life better.
I mean, that's a A powerful lesson for sure. I mean, it's been exciting to follow along with your journey, and it's still evolving, right? I mean, it's never done. That's the cool thing about it. Like, always another level, and it's constantly evolving. This was a fantastic podcast, Jeff. I mean, it's, I really liked where we took this, and kind of just unpacking it, and also giving some real strategies, But the big takeaway is giving yourself permission to just start. Start small, give yourself permission. I mean, if you need help, reach out. There's people out there willing to help you. I mean, if you want, you can reach out to Jeff and I. I mean, you reach out and we can have a chat. Certainly, map out an action plan for you. But get out of your own way. Like the biggest hurdle for most people, like, oh, I wish I had your motivation. I wish. We don't have it either. Like, right? Yeah, it's like brushing your teeth. As I mentioned, like, nobody gets excited. Like, oh, I can't wait to brush my teeth today. But you just do it because it's what you do, right?
Right.
Your own way to start.
Yep. I'm not motivated. I'm just good at just doing it anyway.
It's routine. It's just who you are. And again, you're thinking, where do I want to be, in the future? And of course, the decisions you decide today determines where you are in the future. I mean, if you choose poor decisions today, that's going to lead to poor results in the future. If you choose good decisions today, it's going to lead to good results in the future. So it's just, where do you want to be, and kind of hopefully base your decisions, or at least the majority of your decisions, off where do you want to be in the future, not just that short-term pleasure in the moment. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Podcast. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already done so. And if you would like to learn more about the Muscle After 40 Blueprint program, then down in the show notes below this podcast, just open up the show notes below, you'll see a link where you can download a free copy of the Muscle After 40 PDF brochure. And this outlines the entire system, outlines our 3-phase system that we use to achieve a lean body recomposition while enjoying your life in the process. And this is the same system that I've used to achieve my body transformation, how I've got fit over 40. And it's the same system that I teach my personal coaching students who've made incredible transformations. I mean, some guys have lost over 100 pounds. Some guys have built lean muscle. Some guys have went on to compete in bodybuilding competitions and other athletic events. So it is a foundational program that utilizes a proven step-by-step action plan to help you build muscle, lose body fat, improve your health and fitness, and do so while enjoying your life in the process. And if that's something you're interested in, then again, pop open the description below in the show notes and download a free copy of the Muscle After 40 Blueprint PDF. All right, have yourself a good one, and I look forward to talking to you in our next podcast. Take care, over and out.